Mr. Trump, our president, finally did it. Yep, he finally used the N-word. Yeah, in front of his adoring fans, he proclaimed himself a nationalist. Yeah. So why is this a problem? What's the big deal? Right? Love of country, you love your nation, you're a nationalist. So let's start by just hashing that out a little bit. There's a difference between nationalism and patriotism. Patriotism is about love of country. Nothing wrong with that. Nationalism is about it's an identity. It's a sense of belonging. Again, nothing wrong with that per se. But then you have to think about who belongs. What's a nation but just an idea? A place where people belong. A place that you can find people like you who have the same laws, the same rules, the same ideas about the world. It's kind of like a family in a way, right? But just much bigger, or a tribe. In fact, if you think about a lot of the Native American nations today, they used to be called tribes. You had the Apache tribe, now it's the Apache Nation. It's a word, and it means a group, an identity, a sense of belonging. So in a family, let's say, kid comes up to you, says, "Dad, I want you to know I'm gay." What is the reaction of that family going to be? Is that kid still going to belong? Is he going to be still a part of that family? Or will he be shunned or even kicked out? It depends. Is it an embracing and open family? Or is it a family that's rigidly ideological, that has powerful feelings about who belongs and who doesn't? So if nationalism is about belonging, being a member of a group, then when you have 335 million of us, who belongs and who doesn't? So when the Trump administration declares that gender is based on your genitalia and your genitalia only, what does that leave the people who are transgender or different in any other way than that? When the president says that people who don't support the flag or the national anthem don't belong, when they're unpatriotic, what is that saying about our group, our family, our nation? This is the problem with nationalism, that it's, by definition, it has the people who belong and the people who don't. Whereas patriotism is just love of country. And you love your country, you love your nation, the principles it stands for, sometimes the symbols that represent those principles. So the other thing that Trump always talks about, of course, is he frames nationalism as being opposed to globalism. But guess what? The whole idea of nations came from Europe. It doesn't belong here. It was imposed on the people here. And it was imposed all over the world through a period of centuries of colonial rule by the Europeans on everyone else, including this country. And so many things that we believed to be part of our nation, like let's say, if you believe we should be a Christian nation, there's nothing more globalist than Christianity. It's spread all over the world. There's 2.5 billion people now that are Christians. And it all started in one little Middle Eastern, locale, thousands of years ago. The world itself has been going through this incredible process of uniting, of globalizing, ever since we were hunter-gatherers or bands of nomads or foragers thousands upon thousands of years ago, when we all were disparate people that didn't even know others existed. And then slowly but surely, everyone began to meet each other, and the world began to collect into larger groups. and continents and so forth. And eventually 500 years ago, two huge parts of the world met. The explorers came to the Americas and radically transformed this part of the world, the whole planet actually. And now we're all integrated, we're all together. Every day more connections are built. No one in the world lives in a original culture anymore. They don't exist. There's nothing even close to that. You like traditional Italian food? Where do tomatoes come from? They come from the New World. And where does pasta come from? It comes from China. So what's traditional about it? We decide to make things traditional at a certain arbitrary point. The world, humanity, is coming together. For a lot of people in this country, globalism or globalization feels like a threat. They see it as an imposition. They see it as an assault on American sovereignty. And so when people talk this way, like I'm talking right now, they get their hackles up. I just want to say that this process is evolutionary, not revolutionary. That it's going to take time for the world to evolve as it does. And at the moment, we are still very much a world of nation states. That isn't going to change anytime soon. But what does need to change is we need to begin to globalize in our cooperation to some of the real challenging issues that we face, the biggest problems that we have today. For example, like climate change, which is an existential threat on the whole planet, has to be addressed as a world, as a people, not by disparate countries. There are many issues like that, from economic issues to development issues to issues about pandemics and terrorism, that require very close cooperation with the world. It requires international treaties. It requires collaboration, scientific global research. And these are the things that we have to continue to nurture and to promote in our politics. Whereas for the moment, we're doing the very opposite. Reneging our international responsibilities on refugees, quitting international treaties on climate change. So anyways, I write a lot. I think I post things online. If you're interested in following me or knowing what I have to say, I will add some information here about my Facebook page and my blog. Thank you for listening, and until next time.